So before we get into today's video, this video does contain spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything about the leaks that came out in 2022, or you don't want to have any areas of the game spoiled for you, click off this video now. Now I want to say thank you to Red Dead Slinger for messaging me about this. Obviously this is something that we all saw in the trailer and we all saw the leaks, but none of us tied 2 and 2 together. So thank you to Red Dead Slinger for suggesting this as a video idea, because I feel like a bit of an idiot for not realising it sooner. So myself and many other YouTubers plus the whole community as a whole have spent a lot of time talking about Jason and Lucia, and understandably so. They are the main protagonists of GTA 6 as far as we know. But also, there's been a lot of research into who Jason might be, who Lucia might be, who we now know to be Manny Perez. Now, I just want to clear up some of the speculation about whether Manny is or isn't Lucia. She pretty much definitely is. And the only reason I can say this with a level of confidence is because when we first started hearing murmurings that Manny Perez is Lucia, she mass unfollowed hundreds of people. And a lot of the people she was initially following were people that worked at Rockstar Games in production roles. And since these rumours have started circulating, she mass unfollowed every single person that worked at Rockstar Games, just to kind of separate herself out from the situation. Now, I do want to say here, don't go over to social media, don't message her, don't be a creep. Until it's out there in the public, there's no reason at all for any of us to touch base with her on social media or to request interviews or any of this stuff. There's also loads of screenshots that did the rounds about a month ago, people saying that they'd interviewed Manny Perez. This conversation was so obviously fake. Please don't fall for it. This didn't happen. It's not real. Stop. And of course, we still don't know who Jason is, and there's been so many different theories thrown out there, but the thing is because he only has one line of dialogue, all we have is speculation with no proof or evidence to lean one way or another. I'll also say that 99% of the messages I'm getting on Instagram and other social media platforms are people speculating about who Jason can be. So far, in my opinion, not a single one of them is even remotely close. But of course, feel free to send me who you think it might be, but so far I haven't seen anything compelling enough to make a video about. But no one's talking about the third protagonist. Now, like I said at the start of this video contains information from the leaks in 2022, so if you don't want the game to be ruined for you, please click off the video. So the leaks we had back in 2022, and I'm sorry for those that already know this, but I know a lot of people aren't as clued up on the GTA community. Someone hacked into Rockstar Games, gained access to their Slack messaging platform, and leaked footage from within inside the game engine, screen recordings of gameplay that were happening within the game, and pre-alpha testing. In fact, most of it's not even pre-alpha. Most of it is like very start of development process testing stuff. This footage ranged from about 2019 to 2022, and yes, we could see the developers testing Lucia's character, Jason's character, blank models, which were basically just robotic models that weren't textured at all. But also, there was one other character that kept appearing in many different leaked videos that no one's talking about, and it's this character. This character we saw in the trailer kept coming up as a development model in these leaked clips. Now, it obviously goes without saying that I can't put the leaked footage in this video, but if you Google it, you'll find it, and I can't link to it either. Take Two Interactive are getting channels terminated for sharing or referring to this footage, so I'm not going to take a risk like that with my channel. But if you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. There's a lot of videos out there which are like 60 to 90 minutes of all the footage compiled together, and you can see within those videos this character constantly appearing many different occasions. But the question is, and the question you're probably asking right now, who is this character? What significance do they have to the game? And what is their name? Well, we have the GTA 6 leaks document. Now, this document was compiled together from all of the leaked footage that we saw back in 2022. And this is how we managed to get a bit more information about side missions, some locations in the games, real world events. There was so much actually hidden within that leaked footage that people have dissected inch by inch to put together a massive document. If you Google the GTA 6 leaks document, I'm sure you'll find it. So from the leaks, we were able to determine a character called Dre, who is a friend of Booby, another character. He introduces Jason and Lucia to him, and also according to him, he got in touch with a couple of artists. There was a few lines of dialogue in the game that gave us the ability to determine who he is. Of course, we have Lucia as well, and of course we have Jason. There's another person called Sam, but we weren't able to clearly see his face, but also he wasn't a fully rendered in character. And then of course we have Wyman. Now Wyman is another character that we saw in another scene where Jason stood next to a pool. This was one of the first clips that did the rounds over the internet, and a lot of people have seen this one. But we know that this character isn't Wyman. That leaves us with Kai. Most likely, obviously not definitely, but most likely this character is Kai. Now, what makes this very different from what we've seen before is that Rockstar are controlling this character as a main character. So their perspective, the field of view, the controls that have been put into the game engine are reflecting in the character's movements, and we can see the controls that are getting put in from the bottom left and bottom right of the screen, where it tells you the XY inputs that have been put into the game. So we know that this is a playable character. Now, Rockstar don't make loads of characters playable typically in the past. Rockstar don't make loads of characters playable for no reason unless they're part of the story. Now, the next part of this video, I want to go back to GTA 5. But before we continue with the video, I've dropped merchandise. You can now get Cyberboy merch from my website. Please don't feel like you have to buy anything to support the channel. Just by watching the videos and watching me waffle right now, you are supporting the channel. But if you do want to get something, it does help the channel also. Back to the video. So going back to the GTA 5 trailer, that first trailer was predominantly about Michael and showing us Los Santos as a city. Now fast forwarding 10 years, two of the biggest characters in GTA 5 were Franklin and Trevor. They are some of the most memorable characters in video game history. Yet if we go back to all of the murmurings about trailer 1 that we had at GTA 5, all of the talk was about Michael. Having multiple protagonists was just a rumour, just a theory back then. Now if we translate that to present day, and with hindsight knowing how important Franklin and Trevor were to the story of GTA 5, in fact without them, we'd be missing 2/3 of the gameplay, it does make you think how this protagonist could be one of the most important characters in GTA 6. Just because we haven't seen a lot of him in trailer 1 doesn't mean that he's not important to the game. We do know he is a playable character. Rockstar wouldn't put the time, attention and effort into a playable character unless it was worthwhile in the grand scheme of things. Now of course, this isn't definite. There's probably like a 5% chance that this was just a developer model and they were trialing something. And there's also maybe a small chance there as well that this whole thing would get completely axed from the game and it was just during the initial development process. But I feel like this shot in the trailer was probably more important than initially we may realise. Now another thing I want to bring up is in the leaked footage, this particular character had beard growth. So in some shots he didn't have a beard, in some shots he did. Obviously we know that Rockstar Games is going to be implementing a time-based alteration within the game. So hair grows, beards grow, the same thing we had in Red Dead Redemption 2. We know that that's a function that Rockstar will be bringing back to GTA 6 because why not? The technology's there and it's a cool asset to bring in for the sense of immersion. So for this to be built into another character of the game, I don't think all NPCs are going to have this. I don't think random people on the street, you're going to see them a week later and they'll have a longer beard. Maybe they will, I'm not too sure. But this system also being applied to this character does lend some weight to the fact that it is probably a main character. Now of course, nothing here is completely 100% confirmed. Nothing's confirmed until we hear it from Rockstar themselves. Obviously I've said this repeatedly in many videos, and even if I start the video by saying this is just speculation and a theory, I still get the comments from people saying this is just speculation and a theory. I know, but it is worth asking the questions. One, why was it a controllable character in the development footage? Secondly, why did that character make an appearance in the trailer if they're absolutely nothing to do with the story? But thirdly, why would Rockstar make them crawl differently to Jason, make him crouch differently to Jason, make him go prone differently to Jason? There's a whole different set of mechanics that are built into this character that we saw from the leaks that are vastly different from Jason's. So creating all of these custom animation sequences for a character that might be in one cutscene or another doesn't seem very likely in my opinion. Now of course you're more than welcome to disagree, but everything we've seen so far is leaning into the fact that I think that this game will indeed have 3 protagonists. So I'm very keen to hear what your thoughts are down below. Of course, as soon as we hear anything else from Rockstar or any more leaks come out, I will cover them on this channel. So please do consider subscribing and maybe tap that notification bell if you want to be notified when I next upload. But everything we've seen so far is lending into the fact that this is very realistically going to be the 3rd protagonist in the game. Comment your thoughts and theories down below, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.